Guys, how are we doing? So I wanted to do part 4 as a live video, mainly because I didn't film it today. And I wanted to keep the flow going. So we've done part 1, 2 and 3, and in the previous, if you look in previous posts down the timeline, you'll see I've done a couple of written things on part 1 and 2 about reaching your potential in the areas that you can reach them. And in other areas, we've talked about barriers stopping us getting to our potential. Today we're going to talk about work and how we can get the most out of ourselves and potential with work. Yesterday we did health and how you can reach your potential within health. So now when it comes to work is a big area, big stress, a big part of everybody's life. We spend a lot of our time at work and sometimes we spend too much time there and we neglect all the people that we actually want to be around, like back at home. Sometimes that might be on purpose. Sometimes that is just because you put yourself under pressure. So how can you get the best out of yourself from work? Now, there's obviously two different funnels you can go down here. There's one funnel where you can go down where you're working for yourself, and the other funnel is when you work for corporate or you work for somebody else, and a lot of that is taken up. So I guess one of the best things that you can do is actually know where you need to be to reach your potential. So if you have potential within your work, do you work for yourself? Does your company, how far can it go? So if you, for example, look at your business between now and 3 and 5 years, where's that business going? How's it going to grow? Or how are you going to reach that potential? If you work for somebody else, whether it's corporate, whether it's in a cafe, whether it's McDonald's, do you want to make your way up to manager? Do you want to be a manager of a cafe? Where's your vision? So understanding your potential, first of all, comes from having a vision of where you see yourself in that 3 to 5 years' time. And that's really important, because if you don't have that, you don't really know what your potential is. You don't think to yourself, oh, what is my potential? What can I get out of this? What's the highest I can go? So first of all, write down your vision. It's got to be 3 to 5 years. There's no point in just doing it 3 weeks, 3 days. All right, what do you see yourself going on down the future? All right, and then you can reverse engineer that. So once you have your vision, look back at where you are now, reverse engineer, and then you plan forwards. Now, there's no point in trying to plan 3 to 5 years, because the goals might change, the visions might change, right? So what you might have is a 12-week plan. Let's say you have a 12-week plan, which obviously in the working world is a quarter. And in that 12-week plan, you might do one task that leads you towards your vision. So if your vision is, let's say you work for a company, you have 200 clients, 200 customers, and you want to take that up to 400. Within the first quarter of you setting your goals and your vision, you might say, I want to gain 50 new loyal customers. That's my aim, that's my target, that's my potential, that's what I'm reaching for, and that's what I'm aiming towards. And that's where you come to planning. And planning allows you to reach your potential, because you know what your potential is, you plan to reach that, and you've got to keep working towards that and striving towards that. Then it comes in time management and work efficiency. So when you work to your potential and when you're trying to control your work and not let it dominate you and overload you, you have to understand that you have to get the balance right. Balance, work efficiency and time management, because you can't always be working. You can't always be staying in the office till late. You can't always not be at home. You have to have a work-life balance where you switch off, where you switch the phone on silent, where you don't deal with the subjects that you're having to deal with work, all right? And that allows you to reach your potential, because you're not hitting burnout, you're not hitting overload, you're not being bogged down consistently with work issues going on in your brain when you're actually with the family and you're not present, and the kids are asking you to play with them on a PlayStation or in the garden playing football, and you can't do that because all you're doing is, I've just got to do this on my phone, or I've just got to do this on my phone, and actually you become massively inefficient within your work. And that's when you become really overwhelmed, really stressed. That's when that then leads onto your emotional eating, your emotional drinking. And then you get home, you have some beers, you drown out all the pain and all of the circle of mayhem within your life. And it all stems from work. But if you can get your time management right, you work efficiently, balance and plan. And all of those 4 things lead to your vision. And the vision is your potential. So obviously we've got to be consistent with this. This is not going to happen overnight. This has got to be consistent, all right? And little wins each day and micromanaging. And that's a whole different video going into that type of stuff. But I just want you to be able to reach your potential as an individual. And I want you to understand that work isn't just necessarily about being in work, but it's about leaving work and leaving work at home. so that you can be present and then go back to work more efficient. Because I think the problem with work for a lot of people is that they put themselves under so much pressure and stress, dealing with budgets, dealing with emails, dealing with customers. And actually, do you know what? Those people and all of that comes secondary to being at home, which will lead us on to relationships and dealing with relationships and being a potential, the best you can be with your potential with relationships tomorrow. So I kind of hope that sort of opens up your eyes. It's probably stuff you already know. You probably already know this stuff, and you do know this stuff. You know that work is the biggest bugbear. You know it's the biggest stress. And you've got to be able to learn to build up your coping mechanisms. There you go, it's come out. To leave that at home, to deal with the stress and the overwhelm, because like a large majority of people don't enjoy their job or hate dealing with the bell-end customers, and hate dealing with the awkward clients. It just, you know, you've got to have a cut-off point. And I think that if you allow yourself that time off, just to summarise, you will go back into your work much more efficient, much more in control of your life. And actually work won't seem that bad because you can just walk out the door, zip, the phone on aeroplane mode, and you don't have to worry. Okay, I hope that works. I probably beasted the hell out of that. So I've got to go. I'm going to go make dinner and wake up the little one. And I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, just drop a comment. Let me know. Make sure it helps. Anything else that you want to me to go over, I'm happy to. But tomorrow, part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be about getting the most out of you and your relationships and understanding your relationships and maybe relationships that are not healthy for you. Something that I've definitely noticed in the last 2 years as growing myself is that I have definitely come around negative people that were in my circle, and we've got to try and block them out and try and introduce healthy relationships to help you move forward. All right. Listen, hope you have a great night. It's Wednesday night. It's midweek. It's The Apprentice. We get to watch the pros in action. Tumbleweed moment, and enjoy it, guys. All right. Have a good night.